Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies. We've got a High West, which has High Country.
Single
subname.
High West single malt.
Woo! We're going to test it!
American single malt style.
High up in the mountains. All right. So we haven't had a High West in a while. I liked it. They had the Boo Rye and the Boo Rye son and the Boo Rye cousin. I'm making those up. But they had a lot.
Yeah.
This is an American single malt, so we're looking good. Should be malted barley.
Uh-huh.
It's got a different label, but kind of the same Western style bottle.
I like their bottles. It's kind of like this handmade bottle.
Yeah,
like
wooden
old
top.
time.
Yeah, I feel they're horseshoe.
They're imperfect. You know, they've got the imperfections in there, but
That is true. There's like little speckling in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
44% ABV.
Good call.
Limited edition or limited supply. I forget. This is the only bottle I've seen here.
Limited
and really,
supply.
We haven't even bought any High Wests for a while.
Nope. Well, we
kind of did the run of them.
Right. There was tons.
They're
Park
always
City, Utah.
New batches are coming out and stuff,
Right.
and we just haven't really gone back to it. When I saw this American single malt, though, I thought it's probably one we should.
Sure.
try.
I love the single malt. This is weird with this. I'm used to like a Western style label. That looks almost like the 1920s.
We did notice, though, that it only says on the front of it, it says bottled by High West.
Yes, bottled by High West Distillery, Park City, Utah. So
Yeah.
then we're like, who else is involved?
Usually it says distilled and bottled by.
So those that know, put it in the comments.
Yep.
Put it in the comments. We don't do the research.
So you have to.
Boom. What you got on the nose?
Prairie. Malty, dusty.
Yeah, very malty. Malty with a twinge of dank basement.
Yeah, I'd go there.
Now, what's funny was when you
Sour.
first said prairie, I got that first where it literally seemed like a breeze out in the open prairie, but now I'm getting malty more.
Yeah.
What is that?
Hints of caramels.
Mm-hmm. Caramel apple.
Yeah.
And then the malty again. That's a malty, fresh mown hay kind of.
It's a little different.
Kinda
There's a
malt.
couple little underlying notes here. What are they? Little bit of char. Almost a toasted malt.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. Malty, not as malty as I thought at first, and then later way more malty than I thought it would be, which I'm going to have to suss out here. Wow, caramel finish, grassy notes, more vanilla caramel. Wow, that's tasty.
At first, a little weak on the palate.
Yeah.
It took it several seconds before I even tasted anything
Yep.
when I sipped on it. But still, overall, still kind of a weak palate. Nice flavors. Not a real long finish. Pretty quick. Of course, that was first sip. Let's see what happens in the second sip. I'm just
Oak up front before, probably right at first taste, it's oak with a more subdued malt. Once the swallow happens and the finish starts going, it's like the malt just starts bursting out along with some honey and vanilla. Touches of floral and fresh cut grass.
I would say toasted marshmallows on stewed peaches or stewed apricots.
Yeah, I didn't get peach.
After the first sip came off as pretty weak. Second sip is definitely better. First sip must just kind of soak the palate, let it get in there a little bit. Second sip, more notes now, more of the maltiness, more of those caramels. That toasted marshmallow, some stewed fruits. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, spices.
We could call them kitchen spices.
Yeah.
I kind of like the dance of the malted barley in there, though. I like that it comes in subtle with little hints of oak, and then it just starts bursting. And then the vanillas and the honeys kick in. And then a lot of those kitchen spices. Let's see what the drop of water, anything?
More maltiness is showing on the back of the palate.
I like it better without the water.
Nothing, I don't think anything changed.
No,
with the water.
It just seems a little more subdued to me. But it could be the saturation of the palate that's going on too.
I think the 44% is killing this one.
Okay, you wish it was at least 50.
Not a good way.
Got it. 46 to 50.
It feels pretty watered down.
Okay. Now, speaking of watered down or subdued, what do you think about my stash?
I'm trying not to encourage you.
Come on, you got to have an opinion. When I showed up, you didn't go, whoa, hey.
It was starting last week.
Yeah, I
when we
know.
filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was going, though. It's kind of taking off.
Yeah.
Right. The boss at work, I said, if you want me to trim it up, I will. He said, kind of like it. Not in a sexual way. He's a fan of history. He said it reminds him of the Civil War. So I'm letting her go. It's getting a lot of comments, but I'm a little nervous.
Well, it's not below the vermilion of the lip.
That's what the boss said. Yeah.
Does it have to be under half inch though? Isn't that the beard?
I don't know.
The beard and facial hair policy is under half inch.
We'll see. There could be violations. Yeah, could be violations.
I guess you could dare them to measure it.
Sure, if they measure it, I could go fall a half inch with what I call the Charlie Chaplin boxcar mustache. Sure, that would go over well. No. It's interesting. I actually concur. Put it out at 46, throw it out at 50. I'm curious what the taste would be. I'm getting plenty of flavors, but when you mentioned watered down, I could get what you're saying. It felt like it would have been so much more, it would have carried that rich palate had it had a little more oomph to it. A blend of 100% copper pot distilled malt whiskeys, aged a minimum of 2 years and produced high in the Wasatch Mountains of Utah, unfiltered and distilled on the grain for a robust Western character. Well, they mentioned fresh apricots, toasted marshmallow, and roasted walnuts up front with honeycomb, sourdough toast, and a hint of smoked lemon peel on the finish.
I just about said lemon pledge a few minutes ago when you was talking.
Sorry, I was
maybe
talking.
maybe the walnuts is that underlying, that one of those weird.
Best
underlying.
enjoyed neat with a few drops of water. Well, then it's not really well. While the sun dips low on the western horizon.
Sun's setting low, big guy. Sun's getting low.
The mountains are calling,
Score it.
and I must go. 87. John Muir.
I'm saying 84.
Wow, that was slow.
85.
I'm too ahead of
It's
you.
I think
the
maybe I
maltiness,
had
though.
higher expectations.
Okay.
And it's not meeting
All right.
those
I like the
expectations.
maltiness. I love American single malt. So you give me that malted barley, and I dig it. I double dog dig it.
This feels like it should be a little older and a little higher ABV.
I wouldn't disagree on those. And how much?
$100.
Ooh, it should have been what you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
At $100, bring up that proof, let her sit a little bit longer, and see what the beauty becomes.
I mean, it tastes like if that was a $40 bottle. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happened because I knew this was $100.
That could be it.
And
That
kind of
could
a
be it.
limited
Yeah.
edition. I kind of
Yeah.
had higher
I'm going to
expectations
say
for it.
limited supply.
It's okay. It's good, but it's not spectacular.
I would agree 100%.
It's-
So if you like malted barleys, American malted barleys, give it a shot. And throw in the comments if you've had it, you agree with our take.
Yeah.
All right. Any Patreon folks come in? I thought maybe we had one.
Do we?
But maybe not. Maybe not.
While I look, you could say go to scotchtestdummies.com.
I could say you could go to scotchtestdummies.com. You can go look at the merch site. On there, we got hats. We got glasses, shirts.
Coins.
I'm off sync. We got wood with burnt stuff on it. Oh, yeah.
2.
Yes. And we're going to start with Gusto.
Dave Burr.
$2 like a burr under your saddle, baby. Burr under your saddle.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate the
Dave.
support. That's at patreon.com. He's backing us at $2. I don't know if it's $2 a show or $2 a month.
We don't know, but you get a shout out with Gusto if you go to patreon.com and look up Scotch Test Dummies. Do at least $2. We have another fella.
$1 supporter, Ray Golden.
Ray Golden.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Oh, somebody did say, because if you do $3, you could even send in a picture, but you got to cover the pickle. I had someone say, what if a woman were to do a $3? I go, pickles synonymous for everything that should be covered.
That area.
It could be, well, it could be, it could be a top region, could be a bottom region.
Yep.
You got to cover the pickle or pickles. Scotch it. Use Scotch.
Sláinte.
Dummies.